Good morning, y'all. So I'm going to do two recorded videos just to see if this kind of helps to go back on division of polynomials because I know some of us are having a tough time, and that's understandable. Um, so I want us to all go back and think about long division back when you were in elementary or beginning of middle school. Um, and so I wrote a problem, and we want to take 3,696, we want to divide it by 6. And so when you were doing long division, you were trying to figure out how many times could 6 go into that number. So can 6 go into 3? No, but 6 can go into 36, and it can go into there 6 times. So, oh, awesome. That's not what I wanted. 6 times, so we would put a 6 above the hundreds spot. We would do 6 times 6, and you would get 36. And then you would subtract the 2. So 36 minus 36 is going to be 0. And then you bring down the next digit, that'd be 9. Can 6 go into 9? It can go into 9 once. So you did 1 times 6. 1 times 6 was 6, and we would subtract. And then you were left with 3, and then bring down the next digit, which is 6. So then can 6 go into 3? It couldn't go into 3, but 6 could go into 36 6 times. And then so we do 6 times 6, 36. Subtract, and then we're left with a remainder of 0. So this 616 was going to be our solution, and we can check that by multiplying the two. Now this same concept can be given to dividing polynomials. So if we were to look at this again with a polynomial divided by a monomial, so something along the lines of 9r, and we're going to use that to divide 18 r to the 5th plus 36 r to the 4th plus 27 r cubed. Now this one is going to be lower level, like this is us trying to reintroduce with dividing polynomials, because I don't want to give you a binomial right off the bat. I want you to just focus on the monomial when we're using that to divide. So looking at our divisor, we want to see how many times can 9r go into 18r to the 5th. Now, looking at your coefficients, so 9 and 18, what do I have to multiply 9 by to get it to 18? You're going to multiply 9 by 2, but then we also need to find out how many times do I need to multiply r by r to get to r to the 5th. So I'm going to need, remembering law of exponents, well, if I want r to the 1st to become r to the 5th, I need to multiply it by something that I could 1 plus 4 to get us to the 5th. So we want r to the 4th, and then we said 9 times 2 is going to give us 18. So now you're going to multiply, and the reason I put this above here and not here is because this is the same degree, right? So 2 times 9, 18. R to the 4th times r is going to be r to the 5th, and again I just put it underneath the same degree. Okay, so the degrees match up, so we can subtract. This happens to cancel, and the reason I'm going to put parentheses is this is going to come back into play when we're using a binomial divisor. So these cancel, and you're left with 0. And I'll go ahead and write that, but we don't need to because we know that anything plus 0 is just itself. And then you bring down the next term. I'm going to bring the whole thing down to make sure we don't forget to divide anything. And that's just for me. I mean, if you want to do one at a time, just like how we did here, that's fine as well. But just don't forget any of your terms. So now we need to ask ourselves, what do I need to multiply 9r by to get to 36r to the 4th? Okay, so looking at our variable, what do I need to multiply r by to get r to the 4th, r to the 3rd, and again I'm matching up my degrees, and I'm going to have to put an extra degree in a second, but so then what do I need to multiply 9 by to get to 36? Well, that's going to be 4 plus, because it's positive, because we're going to do the inverse, So 9 times 4 is 36. R times r to the third is r to the fourth. So then we're going to do the inverse by subtracting that, just like we did with long division over here with integers. So we subtract. This happens to cancel. So again, I'll write 0 for y'all. You don't have to. And then bring down what's left. 27 r to the third. So then I need to ask myself, what do I need to multiply r by to get to r to the third? So this is the case where I'm going to have to draw a little bit extra. So plus r squared, because r squared times r will give us r to the third, and I'll go ahead and write that. And then what do I need to multiply 9 by to get to 27? It's going to be 3, so 3 times 9 will be 27, and then we're going to do the inverse, subtract, and we happen to get a remainder of 0. Now I only wanted to do one with a remainder of 0, but the big thing is just focus on what do I need to multiply my variable by to match up the degree, and then what do I need to multiply my coefficient to try to get as close as possible. Sometimes it won't be exact. This was a really nice one where everything was exact. Sometimes you'll have a remainder, sometimes you won't. You will see more of the remainder when it comes to the binomial, and I'll do that in the next video, but I wanted to keep this kind of short. Hopefully this helps, but just practice with the monomial one, and in fact I'll give you another one just to kind of practice to see. So I want you to try to answer it on your own, pause it, and then unpause to see if you get it. So the one I'd like you to try just to see is going to be, I'm going to scroll this down. So the one I want you to try on your own is 9x to the fifth plus 9x to the fourth plus 45x to the third divided by 9x squared. So I want you to pause here, try it on your own, and then come back and play it and see if you get the right answer. Okay, so if you were to set this up, now that you finished this, you should have done 9x squared, and then you have 9x to the fifth plus 9x to the fourth plus 45x to the third. So what do I need to multiply x squared to match x to the fifth? That's going to be x to the third. So x to the third times x squared will be x to the fifth. What do I need to multiply 9 by to get to 9? It's just going to be 1. Now this is kind of up to you. You can put a 1 here. I wouldn't. We know that anything times 1 is itself, so I would just leave it there. So 1 times 9 is just going to be 9. So then we're going to do the inverse. These cancel. Bring down our next one. 9x to the fourth plus 45x cubed. So what do I need to multiply by? X squared by to get x to the fourth. It's going to be x squared. I'm going to give myself some space. Again, you're going to see in a second we don't need to give that much space because they want us to have 9. To become 9, and what do we need to multiply by? Just 1. So that would be a 1 there. 1 times 9. 9. X squared times x squared. X to the fourth. Subtract. And that would cancel. So then we're left with 45x cubed. And then what do I need to multiply by x squared by to get to x cubed? I just need to multiply it by x. And what do I need to multiply 9 by to get to 45? It'd be 5. And I'm going to try to move this up real quick. I'm sorry about that. So then 5 times 9 is going to be 45. X squared times x is going to be x cubed. And if we subtract that, we get 0. I kind of ran out of room down there, so I'm sorry. But it'd be 45x cubed, and we subtract the 2, you get 0. So this would be our answer. And if you want, if it's easier for you all, I just have the tendency to match up with the degrees. You could just write it above what you're dividing by. So if you had the x cubed here x squared here, and then the x here, that's fine as well. Just to kind of go through, that way it saves you some space too. But again, hopefully this helps. I'm going to post this, then I'm going to post another one in just a minute with not having a remainder.